Welcome to another episode of Discovering the Book of Mormon through Science and Exploration. In our episode on the Incas and the Book of Mormon, I told of the legend of the first four Inca brothers, and how the youngest became the founder of the city of Cusco, and how the white god gave him the right to be the king. It is hard to argue against the youngest brother of the Incas not having been the Book of Mormon king and prophet Nephi. Hereafter, I will infer that Nephi is the youngest of the Inca brothers. The people called the City of Nephi after its founder Nephi, the youngest brother. What evidence is there that points to the Book of Mormon prophet Nephi having founded the city of Cusco that was originally named the City of Nephi? There are 9 possible indications in the Book of Mormon that Nephi settled Cusco. First, the city was settled around 570 BC. See footnote 2 Nephi chapter 5. As the footnote suggests, the city of Nephi was settled around 570 BC. As we calculated in our episode of the Incas and the Book of Mormon, the first ruler of Cusco was youngest of the 4 founding Inca brothers. Since the youngest brother was the first of 105 Inca kings, we estimated that his reign started around 570 BC, roughly the time Nephi would have been made the first king of the city of Nephi. Second, Nephi taught the people of the city to sow seeds. 2 Nephi 5:11. The youngest of the 4 Inca brothers has been credited with the introduction of maize in the city of Cusco. Nephi reported planting seeds in the land of Nephi, but no longer specified that the seeds were from Jerusalem. A possible scenario is that Nephi brought to Cusco maize from the island of the sun in Lake Titicaca. Brian S. Bauer is a prominent archaeologist known for his extensive work in the Andes, particularly in Bolivia and Peru. He is a professor of anthropology at the University of Illinois in Chicago and has conducted influential research on the Incas and pre-Inca civilization. He describes the Cusco Valley around 500 BC. Quote, agricultural intensification continued during the late formative phase, and we know that quinoa, beans, and presumably potatoes held critical roles in the local economy. It is clear, however, that maize also played a part in the late formative diet. Maize pollen dating to 500 BC has been recovered. Third, Nephi taught the people to herd animals of every kind. 2 Nephi 5:11. Brian Bauer continues to describe Cusco around 500 BC. Quote, camelid herds would have also have been kept in the upper elevations of the valley during this era. As in earlier times, these herds met a wide variety of the needs of the people, including food, wool production, and beasts of burden. Fourth, Nephi taught the people to build buildings. 2 Nephi 5:15. Nephi was proud of the exceedingly fine workmanship that produced his ship and his temple. Anyone who has seen the incredible workmanship of the Incas in Cusco would have to agree that it was of exceedingly fine workmanship. The city primarily is built of oxlar stone. The Incas' beautiful stonework, considered the finest in the ancient world, can still be seen today because of its unique earthquake-resistant design. Fifth, Nephi taught the people to work in wood. 2 Nephi 5:15. While no examples of early woodwork in Cusco remain, we know that the Peruvians used wooden beams for their structures. They also used wood for farm tools, wooden adornments, and other items. Garcilaso de la Vega witnessed the deforestation of the Cusco Valley by the Spaniards. In 1604 he wrote, quote, I remember that the valley of Cusco used to be adorned with invaluable trees of this variety, but within the space of a few years it was almost stripped of them, the reason being that they proved excellent charcoal for braziers. 6. Nephi taught them to work in iron, copper, brass, steel, gold, silver, and precious ores in great abundance. 2 Nephi 5:15. If you remember from the episode on the Incas and the Book of Mormon, the youngest of the 4 Inca brothers, the king, made 2 sheets of gold before he entered the valley of Cusco. Nephi made 2 sets of gold plates, apparently while he was in the city of Nephi. Chivas de Leon recorded, quote, "In the month of October of the year of our Lord 1534, the Spanish entered the city of Cusco, head of the great empire of the Incas, where their court was, as well as the solemn temple of the sun, and their greatest marvels. Although treasure for Atahualpa's ransom was taken from Cusco to Cajamarca, and Quizquiz, Inca general, robbed what was already been related, and even though the Indians thought of destroying it and took a great deal, it did not seem to make a dent in how much remained. It was a marvelous thing, and worthy of contemplation, because no loot equaled this one, nor in all the Indies was there found such wealth. Indeed, when the Spanish entered and opened the doors of the houses, in some they found heaps of very heavy and splendid gold pieces, in others large silver vessels. It irritated them to see so much gold. From the temple alone in Cusco, the Spanish removed 178 loads of only the purest gold. It took 4 men to carry each load. So far, the archaeologists have shown that gold has been mined and worked in Peru since at least 1900 BC. Silver has been worked since approximately 500 BC. Copper is estimated to have been worked as far back as 1432 BC. And the only known iron mine in all the Americas dates back at least 2,000 years and is found in Peru. The early Spanish chronicler Fernando de Montesinos claimed that giants had come to Peru and that they had steel instruments. We know that the giants could have been Nephi and his brothers. We know that Nephi was of large stature. The steel instruments could have been Laman's sword that Nephi brought with him from the Old World. It was also recorded that the Indians from Chile used lead weapons against the Spanish conquistadors. The Peruvians were the world's greatest metallurgists. Recent tests have shown that they made 120 different alloys. Or there have been wild claims of metalwork in parts of North America during Book of Mormon times. These claims are misleading and false. For example, according to the Smithsonian Museum, the Hopewell culture had no technology in smelting metals. Their Stone Age culture could only pound copper ornaments from pure copper found on surface rocks and tiny iron beads pounded from meteorites. 7. Nephi constructed a temple after the manner of Solomon's. 2 Nephi 5:16. The youngest of the 4 Inca brothers built a temple. Today we can still visit the site, the original temple built in Cusco. It was built after the manner of Solomon's. The temple had a courtyard, font, ceremonial rooms, and altars. And like Solomon's temple, the temple in Cusco, the entrance faced the east. Certainly, Nephi's temple was not a mud burial mound or a stone pyramid. I will make a separate video on Nephi's temple in Cusco. But for now, let's just remember that when the Spanish arrived, the temple in Cusco was lined with gold sheets. all four sides. 8. Nephi taught the people to be industrious. 2 Nephi 5:17. Nephi had no respect for slothful people. He declared, quote, I, Nephi, did cause my people to be industrious and to labor with their hands. The Incas were considered the New World's foremost workaholics. Their leaders abhorred idleness. The founder of the Inca Empire, Inca Yupanqui, taught, idle people tore the nation apart. They should tolerate no idleness. The culture of being industrious started long before Inca Yupanqui. The famous Inca cross has 3 steps. They represent the 3 virtues of the people. 1. Do not lie. 2. Do not cheat others. And 3. Don't be lazy. And 9. Nephi taught the people to worship Jesus Christ. 2 Nephi 5:10. According to ancient Inca traditions, the youngest of the 4 first Inca brothers taught the people a new religion. Archaeologists believed that a new religion based on a bearded, fair-skinned god started in southern Peru around 500 BC. One of the most amazing sights the Spanish saw when they entered Cusco was a huge plaza, a portion of which makes up today's large Plaza de Armas in central Cusco. Out of reverence to Viracocha, or Christ, the bearded white god, who left Peru by sea, the Incas covered the entire plaza with 2.5 feet of beach sand that they had hauled over the Andes Mountains from the Pacific. Pablo de Odingado stated in 1559, quote, because the plaza is large and the number of loads of sand brought into it was countless. Buried in the sand floor of the plaza, the Inca placed gold and silver vessels and tiny figures of men and llamas. A rough estimate of the size of the plaza is 300,000 square feet, roughly the size of 7.5 U.S. football fields, including the end zones. It has been estimated for the Incas to have covered the entire plaza with 2.5 feet of beach sand. It would have required the Incas to have carried nearly 40,000 tons of beach sand across mountain passes for hundreds of miles to an elevation of 10,000 feet at Cusco. If that is not a sign of the great reverence the Andean people had for Viracocha, their bearded white god, Jesus Christ, what is? It is clear that the 9 lessons Nephi taught the people in the city of Nephi are reflected in what is known about the establishment and traditions of the people in Cusco, Peru. It is the only city that I know in all the Americas that had all these attributes in the 6th century BC. If you know of a city north of Panama that was established around 500 BC and had organized farms, herds of animals, fine buildings, gold sheets, gold, silver, copper in abundance, a temple after the manner of Solomon's, and industrious people, and had a new religion that included the belief in a fair-skinned God, please let me know. Actually, outside of Peru, there is no credible evidence whatsoever that such a sophisticated city existed in 500 BC anywhere in the Western Hemisphere. Learn more about the Book of Mormon by subscribing to this channel, or you can visit our website, christinperu.com, where you can learn about our annual Book of Mormon tours to Peru. We will be visiting the amazing city of Cusco. I will be your guide. Thank you.